Hello there, welcome back to Jennie Designs with Paper. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I have in my craft room with me my sister Angelina, and we're going to voice over together. So get comfy and let's get crafty. So today I'm working with embossing folders again, and Angelina is going to tell you what I am doing.
All right, I
have no idea.
have no idea.
So embossing folders have a flat side and a raised side, and I'm going to take ink pads and
smear the ink all over the flat side so that the ink goes pressed in, like right. So
on the flat side, it will just cover the surface of the paper.
And then what pops up is not colored, correct?
Yes.
So it's like a textured.
Yes.
Okay.
So now we're doing the embossing side of the ink folder.
So now the little graduation hats are going to be colored, but also pressed in. So there's that texture.
The ink will get pressed into the paper. So on all of the cards today, I used a 110-pound cardstock, and I sprayed it just a tiny bit before I put it in the embossing folder because it keeps the paper from cracking. And on this one, the ink did not all get smeared down, but whatever, we're moving on. So this is the third one, and they're all graduation cards today, by the way. And this is another one where I inked up the raised side of the embossing folder. This embossing folder is probably never going to be clean again because between the blue and the purple, it is just going to be stained forever. And I put the wet side away from the ink. So the side I missed it, I put away from the ink.
Okay. Now I see that the colored part is raised on that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I picked a non-graduation embossing folder for the next two cards. And I'm doing them one in blue and one in yellow because my niece's school colors are blue and yellow, and I didn't know which one I wanted to do it in. So we're sending these all through my Empress embossing folder or embossing machine. And yeah. So we're going to make like 5 graduation cards today, and it is super sped up, and I kind of edited out a lot of things, but that's okay because it was like 2 hours of footage.
You made how many cards?
5.
5 cards, so that's a lot of time.
So this purple one, all of these are going to be trimmed down to 5 1/4 by 4 inches to fit on a standard US A2 size card. And this is the purple one, and I'm making this for my nephew, whose school colors are purple. The green one is for one of my neighbor girls, because one of her school colors is green. And the blue one is for another one of my nephews, whose school colors also happen to be blue and green, like my kid's school. Totally weird, totally different state. So the first 2 cards are going to be shaker cards, but they're going to be full shaker cards. So this is double-sided adhesive, and I am using the packaging from a stamp set to create the shaker pocket. And I'm digging it out and shaking it around so Angelina can see what I did.
Okay.
All right, take it away. What did I do?
Okay, so it looks like you put the double-sided adhesive on all 4 sides, but took the paper backing off on only 3.
Yes.
And then you folded the clear shaker part around the 3 sides that are not.
The backing paper's been taken off of. Yes.
And you folded them over.
Yes. So don't take it off all 4 sides at once because you've got to leave an opening to dump your sequins and stuff down the front of the card.
So yeah, right here you're just folding over the clear so that way you can make the pocket for the sequin.
And it's really hard to see because it's, clear acetate. I literally grabbed a stamp pack set that I haven't put into my folders yet and just took the packaging and used that. I have a whole bunch of them somewhere, but I keep rearranging my craft room and I forget where I put things.
You got to use every little bit.
That's right. The more I use, the less goes in the trash, at least at my house. So I did the bottom first, and I'm going to fold over the sides, and I'm going to trim the corners a little bit, trim the excess off a little bit, just because I didn't measure.
Well, yeah, and you don't want it so bulky. You want it to be able
and you don't want to pull it super tight. Otherwise, there's no room in the front. So I'm not pulling, I'm like stretching it. I'm just pulling a little bit.
Okay.
And then because I'm extra, I have to add tape on the corners.
Oh, you don't want the sequins to fall out.
No. Oh, see, I'm working on the green one first. For some reason, I thought I was doing the purple one. I don't know. So, and then I just kind of puff it open like that.
And dump in.
Yes. So I have this kind of blue mix, and then I added the green mix, and then I shook it up a little bit and decided it was not full enough. And I added some like iridescent little tiny things, which I don't love because I read more purple than iridescent, and that's not really school color, but whatever. It's not like you can put that stuff back in the bottle.
Yeah, that's fine. You gotta be committed to that.
Yeah. On the top flap, I did kind of angle the corners a little bit just so there was a little less bulk there, and then taped them down again.
All right.
So now we're going to add this to a card base, and I'm using a blue card base, and take it away.
And double-sided adhesive.
Yes. So this is, okay, every company has their own name for it, like Suquane tape, tape and tear, tear and tape, whatever. It's a really strong double-sided adhesive, and then I put liquid glue in the middle because embossed papers stick better with liquid glue.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you centered it all nice and pretty.
Eyeball center because who's got time to measure that, especially when you're making 5 cards.
I always eyeball it.
So I have a really old Stampin' Up! Set. It's for graduation. I'm going to stamp this 1 sentiment. It says, looking fine in that cap and gown, I think.
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to zoom speed through the cutting around of that because, well, I'm making 5 cards. Cut with your dominant hand and turn the paper with your non-dominant hand. It looks like it needs a little bit of a layer, so I'm adding a circle that is the same color as the card base. Yeah. And I just use waffle flower circle dies, the nesting circle dies. All right, and I'm trying out this glue. It's new to me. It's not new to the craft world. For real, I bought this because I needed something to come to my house from Amazon overnight. And if I added like $6 more, it would come overnight. And so I added this. It's Barely Art Precision Glue. And it's got the little pin that goes in the cap. So we're experimenting with that right now.
Do you like it?
So far, yes. But it comes out a little bit at a time, and I'm kind of impatient. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So back to the card. Now I'm adding sequins. Right? Yes. Yeah. And I have these cap and gown, or these graduation cap kind of confetti pieces that I bought like, I don't even know, 3-4 graduations ago. And so I put a little gold graduation cap on there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to zoom speed through the second card because it is the same. So remind everybody what I did, Angelina.
Okay, you put the double-sided tape. What do you call it?
Double-sided adhesive.
Oh, double-sided adhesive on all 4 sides, but only took the backing off of 3. Yes. So you can create that pocket for your sequins to go in, or your glitter, or whatever you're gonna.
Ooh, glitter would be fun.
Yes.
I mean, okay, you know what they say about glitter, though? It's the herpes.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't know if that was.
Well, my videos are not intended for children, and I don't think that's a swear word, so, and I'm not the first person to say it.
Get rid of it. Any swear it multiplies.
And it pops up when the least expected.
Yeah.
I did like the iridescent sequins in this one because I did kind of read a little more purple. So,
yeah, it looks nice.
Same thing on the back of this card, double-sided adhesive around the edge, liquid glue in the middle to kind of make sure that embossed paper sticks to the card base. And this time I grabbed my Tombow glue because why not? I've got 15 bottles of glue on my desk. May as well grab whichever one is closest.
For sure. This, what you can see.
Exactly. Absolutely. This is the same stamp set. And this one, the sentiment I used is, here's to a bright future graduate. And I did the same zoom through cutting. And to ground it, this time I used a tag die. These 2 nephews are on different sides of the family. They would never know that they each got the similar card. I mean, and let's face it, our teenagers are not watching my videos.
They probably wouldn't care anyway. They want what's inside.
They want what's inside. You're not wrong. But I have this thing in my head about making the exact same card, right? It's a struggle for me. I can't do that very well. So we used a tag die. I probably should have put some string or something in that, but whatever.
It's fine. It's cute.
And I'm adding another one of those graduation cap. In fact, I think, I added one little graduation cap. I contemplated adding 2, but yeah, I already put the glue on it, so I threw it away. Okay, we're moving on to the swirly card, the blue swirly card. Yeah, the blue swirly card. Okay, so this is for one of my nieces. Her school colors are blue and yellow, and I didn't know which one I wanted to do. And this is one where we inked up the erased part of the embossing folder and then pushed that ink into the paper. I did add a black mat. So the card base is 5 1/4 by 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. The black mat is 1/8 inch smaller, and the blue swirly part is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So you do the math because I don't fraction.
We eyeball it.
That's right. We eyeball, we don't math.
Nobody's got time for that.
Nope. All right, I chose a yellow card base because, again, blue and yellow school colors. That glue kind of squished everywhere, but it dries matte and clear, so no worries. I used a congratulations word die and a graduation hat for this card. The word die is from Cherry Lynn Designs, and the cap is from Impression Obsession. And then I cut just the string of the cap out of a yellow piece of cardstock so I could put a little bit of color on that cap. And I'm using, see, I grabbed it. Here's the Barely Art glue again. This was intentional, though, because it has that little teeny tiny nib, and I could get glue on the back of all of those
That's
little letters.
I was going to say that kind of glue probably comes in handy with the little letters.
Absolutely. And it grabs quick, so I was able to get that straightened out really easily, too. Like
nice.
Yeah.
That's so, like smearing all on the
It didn't, no.
Good.
So the more I use it, the more I'm liking it. So, funny story, Angelina's 4-year-old daughter came into the office today while I was making an art journal page for Friday after this video. And she had to make cards as well. And so she made 3 cards today, which were super adorable. And grandmas and grandpas will be getting them in the mail. Okay.
Crafty like everyone else.
Yes, she's all about the crafty. This is the background that we did the blue ink swiping on the flat surface. We are putting that on a green card base. And again, I use that black mat. Again, you do the math. The card itself is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. The ink smushed card base is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So, and the black mat's in between. And I didn't have to math because I used the little lines on my Fisker wire cutter. That's why I didn't have to math. I'm like, here's 4, here's 4 1/4, where's the middle? Okay. So we're using liquid glue again.
To be honest, that's kind of how I look at a measuring tape. Okay, that's 4 1/2, that's 4 1/4. What's in between those 2 lines?
Exactly.
I don't say whatever that number is.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
I don't want, every time I try to do the math, I cut wrong.
Yeah.
So I just look at the lines on the trimmer.
Yeah.
I'm using that same Cherry Hill or Cherry Lynn design. Cherry Lynn design, I think, is that die cut. And then I'm using the diploma scroll thing that comes in the same Impression Obsession die set as the cap did. And again, I cut the little center part of that out with yellow cardstock so I could add a layer to that little scroll.
I like how the caps are all in the background, like the graduation caps. And then you got the scroll, so it's not like cap on cap.
Cap on cap.
It added something else.
I don't know that I thought about that.
I just looked at it and it looks nice.
We are adding green sequins to this one as well. And, you know, my brain, if you've been here before, it likes to have all things the same, but also likes to have things visually pleasing. So I did 2 groups because that's my even number, but I did an odd number of sequins. So both sides of my brain are happy with the sequin placement today. Oh, and then we had the yellow one left over. So I went ahead and made a graduation card out of that. And I'm sure I forgot somebody. So I figured, you know what? I'll make it and I can give it. It doesn't have to be school colors. We're just going to go with it. I put it on a yellow card base. And this is like super speed. I know it's like way faster than normal. But when you have a video with 5 cards in under 20 minutes
that are all basically the same.
Exactly. So I pulled out those graduation cap confettis, and I added a couple of groupings of those graduation caps. So whatever. This is probably not the most wonderfully thought out design I've ever made. But in the end, the card does not look terrible.
Oh, it's cute.
I have another old Stampin' Up! Stamp set that has a little kind of word art sentiment, and it says, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams." So I stamped that. You know, I stamped all of these without using my Misty today. So this one was the one that made me the most nervous because I got one shot at this.
Remind me again what your Misty is.
My Misty is this platform on my desk that allows me to stamp something more than one time if I don't get a good impression. Okay. Yeah. But, and I can use it with the red rubber stamps. I just didn't pull it out because, well, I was being brave.
You had
I was just being crazy. I am going to trim this, or I obviously did trim this out, and I'm going to snuggle it right in there between my groupings of graduation caps. So that's awesome. So here we go. Quick look at the 5 graduation cards that we made with embossing folders, both graduation and not graduation, ink pads, and sequins.
So super cute.
And they are all cute. And let's be honest, like Angelina said, they really want what's in them, not what's on the front of them. Yeah. Even the girls the girls will probably like them, but they'll still like what's inside them better.
They're going to open it real quick.
That is true. So, and here's my extra. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have a couple of other videos here I think you will enjoy. I've also added that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you did. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me your school colors if you can remember them. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and have a really fabulous day.